Hey, hi. I thought I would just jump on to record a couple of really quick, short practices for you. I just want to say, have a lot of patience with the beginnings and learning of some of the practices. And remember, it's not about the practice itself. It's not about the actual movements. These are preparatory exercises, and they're giving you the tools to help deepen your self-inquiry. Okay, so they're tools, and it's not so much about the actual technique, it's about you really connecting with yourself. And I realize that I say that, and if we've had many of us actually are coming to do these practices because part of that is we're not actually always connected or that aware of our connection with our mind body, with ourself as an embodied human in these bodies. So these exercises that I'm showing you, I'm going to teach you in this journey that we're on now, is going to help hopefully deepen and establish that connection, and hopefully integrate more of different parts of ourselves into our whole. Yeah, so this week we're heading into inner resourcing, and on Wednesday I'm going to walk you through a beautiful practice from standing all the way down to the floor. So we're actually going to start the work from standing, and then gradually we'll end up down at the floor. And by the time we reach the floor, you will already have set wheels in motion. Okay, so your practice will already be in process. But just for the purpose of this video, I wanted to share two techniques. Definitely we'll yield for a little bit, so we'll connect in with the floor. That yielding is really an opportunity to allow awareness to arise, to notice any places where we might have compensations happening, where we might be still in the mind and kind of hovering above our body and not resting back into our body. It helps us to really establish that groundedness, that grounded connection with the floor. So grounding is such an important resource. Okay, so that laying down, that initial contact is really, really critical, and we can always come back to it. It's a home base, a place that we can come back to if we feel that we've gone out into the mind again and we need to come home, come back. We come back to that yielding, that grounding. We will be fairly grounded on before we actually get to the floor when we do our practice together, but for the purpose of showing you these two exercises, grounded yielding and rhythmic rocking and arch and flatten. So those are the practices we'll cover here now in this video. Okay, I'll shorten everything. So it's just really to give you a bit of insight so you can then stop the video and practice on your own, just so you're familiar with some of the terms. And when I bring them up and you're down on the floor on Wednesdays, you don't have to be really concentrating what she's saying. I don't really know if I'm doing it right, all that stuff we do. So I want you to be empowered by having these techniques, and if you need some grounding through the week for whatever reason, draw on these, practice these, and see how they can change your shape, change your state. Change your shape, yeah, shape shift, they could. Yeah, and you'll learn more as we go along. So for now, yielding, rhythmic rocking, and arch and flatten. So enjoy. You can watch for the time for now if you like, or you could join me. Yeah, this is your video for access for you whenever you need it. So I'm going to start my practice today in constructive rest, and that's with bent knees and my knees knocking in and my feet just wide. You may prefer to have your legs long when you do this. It's completely a personal preference. And I'm just beginning with my eyes. They're open at the moment, and I'm just taking time to look around the room and let my brain just notice shapes, noticing the lines on the ceiling. And just see what your brain notices. There's nothing to really do, just observe. Once the eyes have orientated and you're conscious of the space you're in, you could do that for as long as you wish. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to get you to just softly gaze straight ahead and begin to notice your peripheral vision. So don't try to strain to see anything, but notice what you notice out of your peripheral vision without moving your eyes. You'll probably begin to notice changes in your breath. You might begin to yawn or start to want to breathe out deeper. Allow this to happen. Your nervous system is saying, bringing us back into that beautiful parasympathetic resting, digesting state. You wanted to create a little bit of sound in the out breath. Just do a couple of open mouth out breaths. Breathe in through the nose, but just let your vagus nerve kind of rest and respond to that sound, the vibration, bringing us more into that beautiful ventral vagal. Maybe you begin to notice all of the places of your body that are connecting on the floor. Just allow yourself to have more of a felt experience. We don't have to think about any of this. The more we just kind of stay with yielding, the longer we are here, the more our system begins to show us what it means to yield, what it means to just simply be and start connecting and being, rather than wanting to follow those impulses to do or to be busy, to be distracted, anything other than just being. And just notice your thoughts, notice whether you're feeling this is not doing anything, or notice that inner critic come into play, notice your resistance to being still, what the perfectionist may be kind of saying, this isn't important, there's better things I could be doing, all of that. Just let it be, let it go. Notice that and just know how important this is. Yielding is important. Start to feel the back part of your chest, and particularly here. That's what I'm noticing at the moment. My sacrum, my heart space, the back of my chest, connecting with the floor. There's like a feedback that happens. The more I rest into my body, get out of my head and breathe myself down into the body and surrender, the more I feel the support of the floor rise through my body It's sort of almost like you start to begin to merge. There's less separation. I'm aware of much more. The fluids flowing through my body. I'm aware of the vibration and that beautiful hum of my nervous system, but the calmingness of it. So we could yield for a lot longer, but for the purpose of the video, I'm going to start to move into rhythmic rocking. So I'll take my feet as wide as my hips and my knees in line with my feet. My feet are flat, and they're the point that my point of contact and my point of gentle push that initiates the rocking. It's my feet. If you notice here now, my feet aren't moving. And everything is really loose, and everything is really, really surrendered. There's no rigidity, and it's actually highlighting where in my spine I may have some fixed rigidity, but I'm not trying to move from my body. My body is fairly loose. It's just kind of following this nudge from the feet, where the skin stays connected with the floor, but the movement happens inside the skin between the fascia, the layer of fascia, and the inside of the skin and the muscle and the bone. So it's this gliding motion. It's a wonderful way to create some fluidity. If there's any dryness in the body, this creates and encourages fluidity. If you're doing this now, just take some time and be patient, because it can take a little bit to actually get the hang of. You may find you're not quite as fluent yet as what my body is at the moment. Nice to be able to close the eyes whenever you feel ready. We could have done that in yielding as well. Notice the position of the sacrum, what's happening there. It's actually rolling with this arch and flatten kind of motion, but you're not trying to do arch and flatten. It's just happening as a result of the position of your pelvis. Feel what's happening up at your cranial base, in your neck. Let it go. And really indulge this connectivity, this continuum. Probably notice what's happening in my chin when I don't speak. And then take a pause from the rocking and notice what you notice. I notice this amazing humming through my body, and it's almost like light radiating inside the body. It's such a beautiful way to ground, to really soothe your nervous system, to bring you into the present now, to bring us into that connection with the body. So once you've had a pause and you feel, then you might like to start a little bit more rhythmic rocking. And you can rock for as long as you wish. I'm going to pause now because I'm going to start to show you arch and flatten. But you could do rhythmic rocking on its own for as long as you wish. Just remember the pause is just as important as the actual rocking. So the second movement I want to show you here is arch and flatten. And we're talking relative to our pelvis here. So our pelvis being the iliums here. So we'll be working with the breath, and when I teach you in class, I'll be starting with the breath first, because the deeper we get into practice, we don't initiate from our mind the movement, we actually follow the breath, and we follow deeper in inner emergences. but for the purpose of learning the actual shape. You'll find I was just doing it automatically with the rocking, but it's a matter of the pelvis rolls forward. So the pelvis being here rolls forward that way, and our sacrum, or the bottom of the sacrum, the coccyx bone at the base of our spine presses down, and you'll feel this lift of your lower back. There's this lifting of your lower back. So if that was my lower back, notice here when I roll my pelvis forward and my tailbone here, my finger pushes into the ground, there's this arching of my lower back. Here's the rest of my spine here. Okay, and then when we roll the pelvis back, there's this flattening of my spine. See here, that was my spine, it's flat. And then again, roll pelvis forward. There's this arching of my spine. Here's this arching of my lower back. It happens automatically. You're not trying to make it happen. It's happening as a result of the position of the pelvis. And then rock back. And with the breath, inhale. The inhale is like a wave, rolling the pelvis forward, taking our back into arch. Exhale takes us into flatten. Inhale, roll forward into the arch. Exhale, surrender back into flatten. Just have a little time now on your own. Try not to overdo the movement. Eventually, we're actually going to make it even smaller, but you're learning it at the moment. So just get a feel, arch and flatten. Corresponding that with the breath. Play now. Remember, these are tools to just help deepen our self-inquiry. So we want to enter with curiosity. What do I feel through my whole body, whole being when I do this? How does one little movement affect everything else? What happens? What more do I feel when I slow it down? Do I feel any places along this movement that has a little staccato-y feel, where it feels a bit sticky? Can I make the movement smaller and just stay within that range of stickiness where I feel it's not so smooth, and do a tiny micro pulse, almost sort of like into my rocking, but more localized at that part where I'm feeling it's sticky and the movement's not flowing. Tiny micro movement called feathering. We can do that anytime throughout the practice of somatic flows. And then come back into the full flow of arch and flatten. Continue to notice the subtle sensations that start to awaken. And what's happening now is I'm actually feeling a spontaneous pandiculation coming in, and I just need to indulge that. It's just saying to me, I just want me to roll to one side. Come back into the arch. I might come back into some rocking, because that's just what I'm feeling like doing. And this is how your practice can kind of organically morph from one thing into the next. Even though we learn these movements on their own, they become a part of an organic flow where your body starts to tell you what it needs in any given moment. So I'm going to leave it there for this video. You've got enough for it. You could do what I've just done with you for an hour or more. Okay, so I'm stopping and I'm really enjoying this beautiful hum that's happening in my body. Remember to really validate and honor your work by stopping and feeling. Your nervous system is actually recording the changes when you do that. If we don't and we just get up and we go and continue with doing, it sort of says that wasn't important, and it doesn't have the chance to create new or to remember what's really important to bring you back. So if you're enjoying your stillness now, or whatever you're enjoying, I'm going to leave you to enjoy it. And I look forward to seeing you next time we meet up. Thank you for your time. Namaste. Any questions, just message me. Thank you.